Thousands of people are expected to gather this weekend at the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. They will mark the 50th anniversary of the iconic Selma March. It was a turning point in the civil rights movement, which was instrumental to the passage of the Voting Rights Act. We're joined by Daron Harris of the Black Belt Community Foundation, which is based in Selma, Alabama. Daron, welcome to Show Me St. Louis. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's start with just the basics. Tell me about what the Black Belt Foundation is and what does it seek to do?
It's the Black Belt Community Foundation, and we are based in Selma, but we cover all counties of the Alabama Black Belt. It's the area of the state and certainly one of the areas of the nation that needs the most uplifting right now, needs the most helping hands. And
tell me how you're involved in the 50th anniversary of the march in Selma.
Well, like I said, we're based in Selma, so what's happening in Selma is definitely affecting and a part of us. We feel the connection to it. We've recently funded 10 different organizations across the Black Belt, focusing on young men and boys of color and how to keep them on the right track, keep them in school, develop very well-rounded lives. And through the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, have awarded nearly $500,000 to all of these 10 different organizations. Representative members of those organizations are forming a cadre at the Black Belt Community offices, Community Foundation offices on Sunday. They've designed their own T-shirt design to march across in unity across the bridge and recreate Dr. King's steps.
Tell me about the segment of the population that you're targeting.
Well, we service all of the Black Belt. It doesn't matter race, creed, or color to us. Predominantly, the region is an African-American demographic, and it has been always since slavery times and Reconstruction and through the Civil Rights era.
You were just mentioning the funds that you've been awarded. Give us some examples of how you're going to use that, what your goals are.
Well, we identify groups that are doing good in the region and need a helping hand. These are community-based organizations. Some are organized through churches, many organized through schools. A lot of what we do is focused on students, on family issues. So we have a network of community associates in each of the counties of the Black Belt. And we work hard to identify those. Some approach us to begin a relationship. And if we feel there's hope and nurturing needed there, we step in. And like I tell people, we're the good guys.
For those who might not be familiar with the term Black Belt, tell us where that comes from.
Well, a little history lesson. It's a geologic term to begin with, and it's talking about the rich, fertile, dark, almost black in color soil that stretches from all the way from Mississippi almost up to North Carolina in sort of a crescent shape. And traditionally, those were the areas that were able to grow cotton the most effectively because that's a very nutrient-oriented crop. And that was where the old plantations popped up, and where most of the slavery was centered for the workforces. So over time, the term Black Belt has been used in some cases in a pejorative sense, unfortunately, to describe the people of the Black Belt who are predominantly people of color.
Can you sort of tell me what modern-day Selma is like? Of course, it was the scene of a powder keg of tension between the races 50 years ago. What's it like now? Well,
it's a beautiful city in my eyes. As a Southerner, I sort of enjoy the sort of somewhat New Orleans-esque ambiance of this aging Grand Dame of the city with the beautiful old buildings, churches, cast iron railings and balconies. But there's a lot of progress to be made down here. There is disrepair in the buildings. There's a lot of building vacancies, just the fabric of the city. Unemployment is pretty high right now. I'm one of those people, and the foundation are people that the glass is half full. So we see the potential here in Selma. Certainly Oprah saw that. The movie Selma has started a momentum that we hope this torch is going to keep burning brighter and brighter, and the nation will continue to help us.
Yeah, Daron, I'm glad you brought that up. How have the residents of Selma reacted to the movie and all the media attention that has brought to the area?
They've really embraced it. This is probably the most exciting thing that's happened in the lifetimes, especially of the young people here that weren't around on that first generation of the marchers. They only heard those stories passed down into the family. Now they're seeing the other side of it and the reality of how that ties in as to what's going on in the nation today. I can tell you the buzz right now with the president coming tomorrow, all the logistics and security measures, all the 007 stuff going on with the Secret Service buzzing around town. It's pretty entertaining, let me tell you. I can't even get into the tip of the iceberg during this interview on it.
Let me just ask you one more thing before I have to let you go. And there's been conversation, debate, in fact, about whether or not the name of this iconic bridge, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, should be changed because Edmund Pettus was a high-ranking official in the Ku Klux Klan. What's the feeling there?
To be honest, I've been so busy working on the logistics of our events for our young men and boys of color on the march that I haven't had much time to get into that fray, so to speak. I know there's, one side of the argument is that was the name, the historic name at the time of the bloody events that occurred, and therefore we should preserve to some extent that memory and history in order to honor what Dr. King accomplished and what sacrifices that the marchers went through. But again, on the other side, that name comes with a very volatile baggage associated with it.
Indeed.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, will indeed, and it's going to be a very exciting weekend. Hope you enjoy it. Daron Harris, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you. We appreciate what you're doing.
Absolutely.